Latin America faces a lost decade. A completely lost decade of misguided socialism of the 21st century populism that has generated nothing but poverty, debt, inflation, and lagging behind all of the other major economies and certainly emerging economies. But look at Chile. Chile is embedded and is drowned in this completely ludicrous constitution debate all of the time and forgetting about the most important thing, which is economic growth. And the populist government in Chile has led the economy to absolute stagnation in a country that should be now, as it was before, in growing faster than the region, growing faster than emerging economies, and reducing poverty. Populism always destroys those things that they say that they defend, that they don't really defend, because what populism really wants, what socialist populism really wants, is control, not prosperity. So that's why they're extremely happy seeing this disaster. Let's go to the next graph, which shows that the economic activity in Chile has plummeted. Lack of investor security, lack of legal security, all this ludicrous constitutional debate that was absolutely unnecessary. And at the same time, an economy in which this socialism of the 21st century has destroyed all of the opportunities and led it to stagnation, despite the opportunities created by the energy transition. Think about it. This is one of the largest producer of copper. It should be at the leading front of the energy transition. No, stagnation. That's what socialism of the 21st century has generated for Chile. And why stagnation and not a disaster? Stagnation because it continues to enjoy a certain level of stability, but also because the government in Chile, like the one in Colombia, has been completely unable to do what the Argentine or the Venezuelan government did, which is to massively monetize government spending and to print pesos like there's no tomorrow. Let's go to the next graph, which shows the absolutely atrocious level of growth of Latin America and the monstrous heritage and the monstrous disaster that Milei has inherited in Argentina. To start with, for 2024 and in 2023, what we have seen in Argentina is an economy that is completely destroyed, is completely obliterated by interventionism. But the problem in Latin America is that socialism of the 21st century is already in Brazil, in Colombia, is in Chile, as we have talked about, and obviously in Venezuela and Argentina. And look at this. Obviously, the level of growth of Venezuela is a joke because it destroyed 80% of its GDP, and now it's basically just bouncing back a little bit, which is absolutely atrocious in any case. A lost decade of growth, but let's go to the next graph. If you look at the next graph, is that all of these socialism of the 21st century policies in these Latin American economies that are always talking about all of these social benefits and these social, so everything is social. Everything is social. Unemployment through the roof. Unemployment at levels that are completely unjustified for countries that have such level of opportunity. Argentina at the forefront of unemployment, also with all of that socialism of the 21st century policies. And more importantly, lower growth than the average of the world and the average of emerging economies, higher unemployment. And if we go to the next graph, what you will see is public debt. and public debt through the roof. Public debt through the roof in Argentina. As you can see, the least growth, highest level of unemployment, higher level of public debt. This is just ridiculous. This is what Milei has inherited, a destroyed economy with the policies that, and be careful about this, Lula wants to implement in Brazil again, that Boric wants to continue implementing in Chile, and that Mr. Petro wants to continue implementing in Colombia. And thank God, none of those two have been able to monetize debt the way that they wanted, because it would have been much worse. Higher public debt, higher unemployment, lower growth. Let's go to the next graph, because this is the ultimate destruction generated by socialism of the 21st century, the destruction of the currency. But why do they do it? Massive inflation. Massive inflation. Yet again, what we are likely to see in Argentina is that inflation above 160% already, because of the monstrous monetary disaster left behind by the socialism of the 21st century Peronist government. Why do they do it? Because the people in government are the ones that get immensely rich. It's the best way for socialism to nationalize the economy. That's what they do. And the reason why they destroy the purchasing power of the currency is because it's a way of massively bloating the power of government, creating dependent and hostage clients in citizens, making everyone poorer and therefore more dependent, and absorbing all the wealth for the political leaders. Higher inflation, monster unemployment, very high public debt, very low growth, and no social benefits. That's socialism of the 21st century. Beware, because in the case of Argentina, that is an inheritance for the current government that is trying to change things. What Milei is trying to do is to revert that monster financial and monetary hole that has been left behind. However, what we have in front of us in Colombia, in Chile, in Brazil, is people trying to implement the same policies that Argentina implemented in the last 2 decades with Peronism. That's so dangerous. And the only reason why there in that table you don't see inflation in Chile and in Colombia going massively higher is one and one only, is that the government has not been able to change the laws that don't allow them to print money like they want to monetize all of the government spending. That is the only reason. Let's be very, very cautious about Latin America. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave your comments below, and keep defending freedom. Thank you very much.